24th of May. This is a pear tree. We filmed ourselves planting, or I filmed us planting 2 years ago. It hasn't grown as well as I'd have liked. Having said that, it was a pretty tiny specimen when we put it in. It's sound roots. This is how tall it was. That's the join, and that's the wood that grew away in 2008. And from there on, from that up, that's the wood that grew in 2009. And you can see it's made a little bit of growth. It's made 2 inches growth so far this season. It's standing about 3 foot, but it's doubled in size. Okay, so it was pretty small when it went in. I'm just doing a little operation here that goes against the grain, but it's the right thing to do. And it's got a little bit of fruit on it, and I'm just snipping it all off because it doesn't want the weight, it doesn't want the effort of making fruit. I want it to grow bigger. Less fruit now will mean more later. Note these very thin-nosed secateurs with these little snips, which are just perfect for this job. It goes against the grain to do this. You know, we'd like to try some of these pears. You know, if you were desperate, you could maybe let 1 or 2 grow, but I want to do the right thing by the tree. It's not made enough growth. I want it to make more growth. So again, this is the 3rd year that this tree has been in the ground, and it was a very small tree when we put it in. When you're doing this, you want to be very careful, work slowly and methodically, because you do not want to snip off the growing points, which, and here you see, for example, there's a pear, and then next to it is a growing point, and you do not want to snip those off. Okay, this is a variety called Seckel, which is from the United States. I believe it comes from Philadelphia, where it was found growing wild in the woods by a trapper, and is said to be the best flavoured of all pears. Well, it'll be another year before we are in a place to express an opinion on that matter, but this is what I recommend to do with these trees in the 1st year. This is the 3rd year. With luck, you know, you might get some, you might be able to, if the tree was somewhat stronger. I mean, for example, some of these other pears, which were from somewhat more vigorous beginnings, these pears were planted the same year. Again, we got these are mainstream pears. Common pears, Concord, Comice, Confernce, Beurre Hardy. We got these from Blackmore wholesale nurseries. So these trees were sold, these were grown and sold to very much, you know, for commercial use and to be put into action and to get something going from them. Whereas that other one, which was planted the same year, that came from somewhere else, from a place that does very rare trees, curiosity trees, and it was a tiny little thing. But these have got some pears on them, and you can see, I mean, look at this. I mean, that's already, I mean, it's the last week of May, and you've got 6 inches of growth already. Lots of these shoots. You've got 6 inches of growth. These are fairly substantial trees, and we're going to allow this to fruit this year. These are 2 years old as well, 2 years in the ground. They were somewhat more substantial trees when they went in. This is a question one is often asked. You know, how soon after planting can I expect to get some fruit? I think the answer is very often. If you get substantial, that's a nasty thing. I don't know what that chap is, but he looks quite pretty, and he's probably harmless. But that other copper beetle, they're a nuisance, they do a lot of damage. Yep. Anyway, so the answer to that question, you know, how soon after planting a tree can I expect to get a crop? Well, I strongly advise to remove any fruit in the first year, almost certainly remove all the fruit in the second year, but if your tree has grown vigorously, then you may allow some fruit in the third year. And this is the third year. It's about 28 months. About 28 months since these were planted. It's May now. These went into the ground March 2 years ago, and they were 2-year-old trees then. They've grown well, and we expect to get some fruit off them this year.